Okay, g'day YouTube. Today we're making our video about the Ford Falcon AU ELEFBA. They've all pretty much got the same problem. What we're going to do is we're going to change this little pressure switch. It's a hydraulic pressure switch. It's this one for the steering rack. So this little switch, it sits right down here in the worst place you can possibly imagine to get to. So what happens is this little switch has a habit of leaking through the electrical connectors where the socket goes in, right here, like so. This is the plug. It's got the spring here to lock it on. Now, you may be wondering why it leaks through the top. Now, the reason it leaks through the top is because people use the wrong type of power steering fluid in these cars. If you go to all the forums online, the vast majority of all the forums have recommend people to use Dextron 2, 3, Valvoline type F, a few other types of fluids, but what you've actually got to use in these cars is a fluid made by Mobil. So if you use any red coloured power steering fluid, this pressure switch will constantly fail. So the seals on the inside of this switch, if you use Dextron, the seals get broken very quickly, usually within about 3 to 6 months. What you actually have to use is this stuff. Mobil Fluid 424. Now this fluid, it's clear. So if you're looking to buy a second-hand Ford, any Ford really, because I think they all use this fluid now in them, yeah, the fluid's clear. So you can get this stuff at any Mobil service station, or 7-Elevens usually have it as well. And you'll notice there's a big difference when you use this fluid over Dextron, and the big difference you notice is the pump doesn't whine. So if you run Dextron in these cars, in the power steering pump, when you're turning the steering wheel backwards and forwards, you'll notice the pump gives out that, you know, the usual power steering pump whine that you've probably been used to for years. You run this stuff in it, this pump is virtually quiet. It's dead silent. There's a little bit of sound, but you'll notice the difference straight away when you drain your power steering out, get rid of the Dextron or whatever crap's been put in there, and run this stuff. This stuff they use in tractors, typically, like earth moving equipment and stuff. It's really common in the outback and farming areas, and it's just really good. Now, the tough part of this job is getting this little bastard out. Now, there's a few videos on YouTube that show you how to remove the rack, do this, do that, and the job is like a 2 to 3 hour job. I've actually come up with a method that makes changing this part really quick. Once you've made the part, the tool to remove it, the whole job only takes about 10-15 minutes. It's really quick. All you got to do is to get an old spanner, a 14mm spanner, one that you don't want anymore. There's an old rusty one I found. I'm just going to use this. See, if you try and stick it in, it won't go in because it's just not right. So, and the trick I've come up with is you simply have to get this spanner and you need to cut off about this much of it. So if you cut it about here, so that you make the spanner now about this big, you can then slip it over, get it behind there, and then you put a spark plug socket, a deep spark plug socket with a small extension bar in the end of it over the top, and that gives you enough anchorage that you can undo this really quickly and easy, and the whole job only takes, you know, once you got your tool built, it only takes about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go and make this tool now. Alright, another trick I've come up with is, if you don't have a vise handy or a cutter, I've made a few of these tools, but because I've changed a few of these switches over the years, and I've found if you stick it in here in your trailer, you can bend it. Might pay a bit of an extension on that. Alright, take two. So we've got the spanner in the ring of the trailer. We've got a bit of pipe here from an old Dyson vacuum cleaner. Stick it over. That should give us enough leverage to bend it. There we go. And there's our tool. This is what we need to change that switch. Alright, so we're back at the car. We've got our tool. And all we're going to do alrighty, put that in there. And we just slip it over the back of the switch, like so, and just give it a turn. See that? Now it's moving. Pull it out. You've only just got to loosen the nut on the back of the switch, and then because this is dead, this one, you can just if you really want to, just get another spanner. Now that you've loosened it, it will just come straight out. There's no need to pull the whole rack off. No 3-hour round trip. This is obviously taking a bit longer than normal because I'm making this video. But as you can see, that's how easy it is to pull that switch off once you've got the right tools. Now you also just want to let the car sit and put a pan underneath it and drain any Dextron that may have been put in the system out. And it's just simply a matter of screwing in the new pressure switch. Use your spanner tool that you've made just to tighten it up that little bit at the end. The switch doesn't have to be in there terribly tight. And that's it. That's how simple the job really is when you've got the right tool for the job. So that's my little tip for today. I hope that's made your job for the weekend a little bit easier. And yeah, have a nice day.